There's a voice inside your head that's sabotaging every decision you make, every opportunity that appears, every dream you try to pursue. This voice isn't you. It's a limiting belief that was programmed into your mind years ago, probably in childhood. And since then, it's been running your life behind the scenes. Most people spend their entire lives without even realizing these beliefs exist. Much less that they're the real reason their goals always seem out of reach. Today, I'm going to reveal the 5 most destructive limiting beliefs that prevent your success. And more importantly, I'll teach you exactly how to reprogram each one using applied neuroscience. Here's something you need to understand. Your beliefs are not facts. They're stories you've told yourself so many times that your brain accepted them as truth. When you were a child, your brain was like a sponge absorbing everything. Every comment from your parents, every experience at school, every rejection, every failure. And without a filter, without critical capacity, your brain turned these experiences into beliefs about yourself and about the world. The problem is that your child brain didn't have the wisdom to evaluate whether these beliefs were true or useful. So you carried these limiting programs into adulthood. And now they operate in your subconscious 95% of the time, making decisions for you without you even noticing. The first limiting belief that destroys more lives than any other is this: I don't deserve success, abundance, love, or happiness. This belief is especially treacherous because it rarely appears so obviously in your conscious mind. Instead, it operates behind the scenes through self-sabotaging behaviors. You're about to get that promotion, but suddenly you make a silly mistake that ruins everything. You meet someone incredible, but you find a reason to end the relationship before it gets serious. You start making more money, but immediately an emergency appears that drains your savings. These aren't accidents or bad luck. It's your subconscious mind ensuring that your external reality doesn't exceed what you internally believe you deserve. This belief usually forms in childhood through repeated experiences of shame, guilt, or comparison. Maybe your parents said, "Who do you think you are?" when you showed ambition. Maybe you were ridiculed at school for trying to stand out. Maybe you grew up in a religious environment that glorified poverty and demonized material success. Or maybe you simply absorbed the belief from the adults around you who also didn't feel deserving. Now, as an adult, you may consciously want success. You may work hard, do all the right things. But there's always this invisible ceiling you can't break through. And here's the devastating truth: you cannot permanently exceed what you believe you deserve, no matter how hard you try. So how do you reprogram this belief? First, you need to bring it to light. Take a piece of paper and complete this sentence honestly. If I really believed I deserve success, I would be. And write everything that comes to mind. Then, look for evidence in your life where you've already proven yourself worthy. It doesn't have to be big. It could be something like, "I deserve that compliment from my boss," or "I deserve that moment of peace." Your brain is programmed to ignore this evidence and focus only on failures. So you need to actively train it to see what it's ignoring. Finally, for 21 days, Every morning when you wake up, look in the mirror and say with genuine emotion, "I am worthy of all the success, love, and abundance that flows to me. I deserve the best that life has to offer." Yes, it will feel strange. Yes, your mind will resist. But remember, you're reprogramming decades of conditioning. And this requires intentional repetition. The second limiting belief that keeps millions of people trapped in financial scarcity is the demonization of money and rich people. This belief manifests in subtle ways. You say money doesn't bring happiness while struggling to pay bills. You judge rich people as greedy or soulless. You feel uncomfortable or guilty when you make more money. Or you secretly believe that to become rich you need to exploit or hurt other people. Here's the problem. If deep down you believe money is evil or rich people are bad, your subconscious will never allow you to become rich. Because that would make you a bad person in your own internal narrative. It's an identity preservation mechanism. You choose to remain poor to feel morally superior. This belief comes from various cultural and family sources. Maybe you grew up hearing that money is the root of all evil, or it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of heaven. Maybe your parents struggled financially and developed resentment against the rich. Maybe you saw examples of rich people being corrupt and generalized that to everyone. The media constantly reinforces this narrative, showing billionaires as villains and poor people as virtuous. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. Money is not good or evil. It's neutral. Money is simply a tool, an amplifier. If you're generous, money amplifies your generosity. If you're greedy, it amplifies your greed. The issue isn't money. It's the character of the person. To reprogram this belief, you need to do a rewriting exercise. List all the negative beliefs about money you carry. Like rich people are selfish or money corrupts. Now, for each one, find 3 real counterexamples. Rich people who are generous, who give to charity, who use their money for good. Bill and Melinda Gates have donated billions to disease eradication. Warren Buffett pledged to donate 99% of his fortune. There are millions of rich people you've never heard of who are quietly making a difference in the world. Then, create a new narrative. Money is a neutral tool that allows me to live comfortably, help my family, contribute to causes that matter, and create positive impact in the world. The more money I have, the more good I can do. Repeat this for 21 days. Especially when you catch yourself judging someone for having money or feeling guilty for wanting more. The third limiting belief is probably the most common of all. I'm not good enough. Not smart enough. Not attractive enough. Not talented enough. Not experienced enough. Not young enough. Not old enough. The list is endless. This belief acts as a massive block in all areas of your life. Because you don't even try to go after what you want. You see an incredible job opportunity but don't apply because they'd never choose me. You want to start a business but don't begin because I don't know enough yet. You like someone but don't approach them because that person is out of my league. This belief keeps you paralyzed in the comfort zone, watching other people live the life you secretly desire, while you convince yourself they're special in some way you're not. This belief is almost always installed by comparison and constant criticism during formative years. Maybe you had a sibling who was the smart one while you were the hard worker. Maybe your parents had impossible standards and nothing you did was good enough. Maybe you were bullied at school and internalized those criticisms as truth about your worth. Or maybe you simply grew up in the social media era, constantly comparing your backstage with everyone else's highlight reel, and concluded that everyone is ahead while you're falling behind. What you don't realize is that everyone is struggling with the same internal doubt. That person you think has it all together is probably looking at someone else thinking the same thing. Imposter syndrome is universal, but it only paralyzes those who believe it. Reprogramming this belief requires concrete evidence, not empty affirmations. Your brain won't believe if you simply repeat "I am good enough" when you have zero evidence of it in your memory. So here's what you do. Create an evidence file. Get a notebook and, every day for 21 days, write 3 things that prove you're capable. It can be something small like "I solved that difficult problem at work," or "I helped a friend with useful advice," or "I learned something new today." The goal is to train your brain to pay attention to your competencies instead of focusing only on failures. Also, make a list of things I've already accomplished that once seemed impossible. Learning to drive, graduating, getting that job, overcoming that fear. You've already proven to yourself hundreds of times that you're capable of growing and learning. You just forgot to pay attention to it. The 4th limiting belief ruins relationships before they even begin. If I open my heart, I'll get hurt. Love always ends in betrayal, abandonment, or pain. This belief makes you build walls around your heart, keeping people at a safe distance. You may be in a relationship physically, but emotionally you always have one foot out the door, ready to run at the first sign of trouble. You sabotage healthy relationships by looking for evidence that the person will eventually hurt you. You constantly test people to prove their loyalty. Or you simply avoid intimate relationships completely, telling yourself you prefer to be alone, when in reality you're just trying to protect yourself from vulnerability. This belief almost always comes from wounds from past relationships, especially in childhood. Maybe your parents divorced and you internalize that love doesn't last. Maybe one of your parents abandoned you and you concluded you're not worthy of being loved. Maybe you were betrayed in a significant relationship and generalized that all people are traitors. Or maybe you simply observed the dysfunctional relationships around you and decided love is too dangerous to risk. Here's what happens when you carry this belief. You unconsciously attract people who confirm your belief. Because you're obsessively looking for red flags and ignoring green flags. Or you push away good people with your defensive behavior. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You believe you'll be hurt, so you behave in ways that guarantee you will be. Reprogramming this belief is challenging because it requires not just thought change, but also behavior change and acceptance of vulnerability. Start by identifying exactly which wound is driving this fear. Abandonment? Betrayal? Rejection? Write about the original experience that created this belief in full detail. Then, consciously separate the past from the present by writing, "That happened with," name, in, year. That is not happening now. I am an adult now with choices. Not all people are, that person. For 21 days, actively look for evidence of healthy love around you. It can be platonic love, family love, even stories of couples who lasted decades. Train your brain to look for what works, not just what fails. And here's the hardest part. You need to practice small vulnerability with someone you trust. It doesn't have to be big. Just sharing a real feeling. Asking for help. Saying I care about you. Vulnerability is a muscle that atrophies with disuse. And you need to rebuild it slowly. And now we arrive at the most dangerous belief of all. The meta-belief that keeps all other beliefs intact. I can't change. This is just who I am. I've tried before and it doesn't work. I'm too old, too stuck, too damaged to change. This belief is the most destructive because it robs you of hope. If you believe change is impossible, you don't even try anymore. You resign yourself to your suffering. Saying it's my personality or it's genetic or it's my traumatic past. You use your history as an excuse instead of using it as fuel. And here's the cruel trick. By believing you can't change, you guarantee you won't change. Because you take no action at all. It's the ultimate self-fulfilling prophecy. You're right that you can't change because you decided to stop trying. This belief usually forms after multiple failed attempts at change. You tried to lose weight 5 times and failed. You tried to leave that toxic relationship 3 times and went back. You tried to start that business twice and gave up. Each failure adds more evidence to the narrative that you're incapable of change. What you don't realize is that these weren't failures of capacity. They were failures of methodology. You didn't know how to change effectively. You didn't have the right protocol. You were fighting against your own brain instead of working with it. But your brain doesn't make that subtle distinction. It simply sees, I tried to change. It didn't work. Therefore, change is impossible for me. And every time you believe this, you strengthen this limiting belief even more. Here's the scientific truth that will destroy this belief. Your brain has neuroplasticity until the day you die. Neuroplasticity means your brain can literally rewire itself. Form new neural connections. Weaken old connections. At any age. There are studies of people in their 70s, 80s, 90s learning new skills. Changing personalities. Overcoming decades-old traumas. You are not a fixed product of your past. You are an ongoing process of becoming. Every thought you think. Every action you take. Every emotion you feel is literally shaping your brain right now. The problem isn't that you can't change. The problem is you didn't know you had to reprogram your beliefs about change before you could make any other change. So here's your new belief. And you're going to repeat this with conviction for 21 days. I am capable of deep and lasting change. My past does not define my future. Every day, I am becoming the highest version of myself. So these are the 5 limiting beliefs that are destroying your success. And here's what you need to understand. Identifying these beliefs is just the first step. Awareness without action is just intellectual entertainment. You can watch this video. Agree with everything. Feel that aha moment. And then continue living exactly the same way because you did nothing different. Real change requires protocol. It requires discipline. It requires the full 21 days of neural reprogramming I described. If you haven't seen it yet, I have a complete video about the scientific method of 21-day mind reprogramming. The link is in the description. In that video, I detail the exact protocol. Morning ritual. Pattern interruption during the day. Evening ritual. What to expect each week. The mistakes that will sabotage your progress. Here's what I want you to do right now. Pause this video. Get a piece of paper. And write which of these 5 beliefs resonated strongest with you. Not all of them. Choose one. The one that made you feel uncomfortable. The one you tried to deny or rationalize. That's your primary limiting belief. The root of much of your suffering and stagnation. Write that old belief at the top of the paper. Now, underneath, write the opposite belief. The belief you want to install. And then, commit to 21 days of reprogramming using the protocol I taught. In the next videos on this channel, I'll continue exploring different aspects of mind reprogramming, neuroplasticity, and subconscious transformation. If you want more content like this, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. Leave a comment now saying which belief you're going to reprogram first. You don't need to explain your whole story. Just write belief number, or the name of the belief. This simple act of publicly declaring increases your success rate by 42%. Because you've created accountability. And if this video helped you identify something you didn't even know was holding you back, leave your like. This helps other people struggling with the same beliefs find this content. Remember, your beliefs created your current reality. New beliefs will create a new reality. The question isn't whether you can change. Science has already proven you can. The question is, will you choose to change? The next 21 days are going to pass anyway. You can finish those 21 days exactly as you are now. Or you can finish as someone completely transformed. The choice is yours.